Yo, yo, yo. I can't walk. I don't have some cool intro, so let's just get to the start of the show.
Today, in a landmark ruling, the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, essentially ending abortion rights at the federal level. The decision was 6-3, with the court's more conservative justices all ruling to overturn.
I read an article that said Billie Eilish blamed the Johnny Depp trial for distracting pro-choicers from trying to sway the judges' opinions in their favor before the Supreme Court decided their vote. I totally agree with her, so I'm going to take this time out now to put some of the blame on Amber Heard for American women losing their constitutional abortion rights because
my dog stepped on a bee. We went to the vet.
If pro-choicers were paying more attention, there's no doubt in my mind that I would have seen countless ads in black and white of celebrities staring into the camera reminding people that women have the right to choose by saying some shit like, "This is my body," or "No one can make this decision for me but me," while they play some cheesy music in the background that sounds a lot like, "I don't wanna wait for our love to be over." Before I go on, allow me to state that I believe a woman should have the right to choose whether or not she wants to bring another life into this world. If that woman happens to get pregnant and chooses not to, this ruling just made it a whole lot harder for her to do what she's probably gonna end up doing anyway. From now on, if a chick gets knocked up in a state that bans abortion, she has to travel to the closest state to her that does allow the procedure to be done. That means women have to come up with money for gas at what feels like $3,000 a fucking gallon these days. Depending on how far they have to travel, they're also going to need money for Ubers, rent-a-cars, airfare, motel rooms, and food to go along with the cost of the abortion and the medication they have to take after the fact. Not to mention, they have to take time off work to accomplish any of this. Most women feel like trash after having an abortion, and I can only assume it becomes very hard for them to look themselves in the mirror if they had it done more than 3 times. This ruling has to make the experience that much worse because getting one has turned into an even more depressing and expensive girls trip that chicks have to plan out in a smaller window of time from now on.
Let me hear you say, "That ain't right."
I already know pro-lifers are laughing at pro-choice advocates right now saying some shit like,
"Sucks to be you, man."
Why do pro-lifers care so much more about fetuses than real people? To me, the term pro-life should be all-encompassing, which should mean you care about these little motherfuckers well after they're born, too. According to the news, someone closer to your home than you might think just got murdered over some bullshit as you're watching this video right now. Are pro-life advocates gonna protest against that kind of loss of life?
I don't think so, Tim.
Society doesn't give a shit about the people who are here already, so why should people care about motherfuckers who aren't even fully developed in the womb yet? I can tell just by looking at the members of the majority vote that they can't and refuse to empathize with women who get too drunk at the club or bar and accidentally fuck niggas who look like this without a condom. Instead, they judge chicks who get caught up in some shit like that as a bunch of
whores running around doing their little behind shake for the menfolk.
That's why not only do I think this is a middle finger to all women across this country, but I also think it's an evil and direct message to sluts and whores everywhere that birth control. Why must sluts be punished for doing their part in controlling the population? Now, I'm not saying all women who get abortions are sluts, but what I am saying is a lot of sluts get abortions.
That's a fact.
More women than you may think get knocked up by some dick they're fucking on the side that can destroy the real relationships and marriages they're in with other men. At the same time, that side dick might be in his own respective relationship that's at risk because this negligent slut forgot to take her birth control pills.
Because safe sex is a woman's responsibility.
Why should a child be born from this relationship that only exists because these two sluts enjoy fucking each other? If they both happen to have other children from the relationships they really care about, those kids will most likely get treated better because those are their real kids. Meanwhile, the bastard child's left out in the cold filled with resentment because he or she figured out neither parent wanted to have their ass at all.
When that kid's about 5, 6 years old, he gonna be cursing your ass out. You go, "Hey, what's up, little man? How you doing, man?" "I'm alive, that's how the fuck I'm doing." "You wanted me dead, huh, bitch?" I'm alive, motherfucker! I should bust a cap in your ass!
Sluts know this to be true, which is why they would get an abortion so they wouldn't have to bring another motherfucker into this world whose only purpose to society when asked is,
I stuck a little dick, smoke a little crack.
I understand that there are millions of other different reasons why women get abortions, but I think the most common are the chicks either too young, dumb, and or poor to mother a child at that given time. However, I believe the number one reason why a woman would get an abortion is because she doesn't want to have to deal with the father for the rest of her life. If deep down inside this chick doesn't even like the nigga who impregnated her enough to start a family with him, why should she be forced to give birth to and raise his seed? I think the kids that survive abortions from now on will have even less chances of becoming anybody that matters in life when they grow up because they would have been born into families out of circumstance instead of love.
That's so very, very sad.
It's bad enough they're going to be brought into a world that will discriminate against them based on their race, gender identity, sexual preferences, handicaps, and even beliefs, just to name a few. But now these kids are going to have to persevere through these problems without the love required at home to deal with them because their parents never wanted to have them in the first place.
How the fuck does that work?
That means for every one person that does grow up to make a difference, there might be 9 other motherfuckers that won't, who will probably end up hating themselves for it so much that they grow up to become criminals or even mass murderers.
Tragic.
Foster homes will no doubt get overran by kids to the point where I'm almost certain that the dumpster baby epidemic will make its return, rehashing even more problems from the past.
We're too old to ever be adopted. No one wants a 9-year-old.
Shut up, you bastards!
You're dark, Raj. I don't care.
Unfortunately, a lot of women are gonna die when some of them try to perform the procedure on themselves at home or pay some asshole who lied by telling them they know how to do it when they really don't. Even as a man, I think it's terrible that this decision was made by 9 people who aren't even fucking like that anymore, if they ever were at all, and 6 of them are dudes.
This is America, Lois. Men have always run things, and there have never been any problems whatsoever. And don't say the economy or Iraq or income inequality or racism or Brett Kavanaugh or air pollution or Vietnam or slavery or Watergate or capitalism or Me Too or homelessness or police brutality or homophobia or Monica Lewinsky or school shootings or Native American genocide or Fox News or Tim Allen or climate change.
I feel like if you have a penis or used to have one, you're not qualified to make this decision.
I know that's right.
If it was up to me, I would have a panel of 9 fertile women between the ages of 18 to 35 decided because they represent who these laws specifically affect.
Yeah.
I would have 4 prudes, 4 sluts, and 1 very hot 18-year-old virgin make this landmark decision that the women of this great nation would have to live with for generations to come. If 5 or more of those chicks still voted to ban abortion, women could only be mad at themselves for the vote. But since 5 men made that awful decision, women are even angrier about it, and guess who a lot of them are going to take their frustrations out on? Their husbands, boyfriends, fathers, brothers, uncles, cousins, male acquaintances, male co-workers, and any other men they encounter for the rest of their lives who had absolutely nothing to do with losing them their rights to having an abortion.
You're awful!
The preceding joke was brought to you by men.
Men, we don't know what we did.
I wonder how many men are going to be willing to get a vasectomy if they still want to have raw sex with their women after this.
Inquiring minds want to know.
There's 2 ways a person can enjoy having sex. You can make passionate love exclusively to one partner that you share a mental and emotional connection with in hopes of getting married and starting a family together. And then there's just fucking. Just fucking can be fun, aggressive, painful, adventurous, and gross all at the same time, which is why so many people enjoy doing it.
Now think about it. When you get into bed, would you rather have somebody say, oh, make love to me, or grab the back of your head and say, fuck the shit out of me?
A lot of people are choosing the latter. The beauty of just fucking is it doesn't require the commitment that's involved with making love, and you don't even have to necessarily like the motherfucker you're doing it with. Most people just fuck simply because that shit feels great. And it feels even better for some people because there's no strings attached. Now you can fuck the hell out of somebody you're in love with who can also return that same energy right back at you if you're lucky, but situations like that are rare. Most people think they're making love when all they're really doing is just fucking, which causes confusion that can lead to making very bad decisions that can haunt them for the rest of their lives. That's why for the past 50 years, abortion clinics have been around to save people from making those mistakes even bigger ones.
Yeah.
With that being said, banning abortion feels less about saving lives and more about punishing people who are just fucking for fun, specifically women. It's slut shaming at its highest level.
Like, why do we slut shame anyone? Because that's a real problem. I mean, like, why do guys make fun of women for doing something we spend every night praying that they'll do to us? Like, we gotta stop making girls feel bad about having sex with random guys, or they'll stop having sex with random guys. The idiots? Is that the world you want to live in?
I know I don't. Keeping it real, if guys had the ability to give birth, I already know there would be millions of abortion clinics across the country in very convenient places to access them, like inside of Walmart supercenters and gas stations with doctors on standby 24 hours a day.
And that's the truth, with some cheese on it.
Yeah, ain't no meatloaf between these buns.
I guess the Supreme Court's cock-blocking crusade won't just end here neither, because I heard they're gonna target same-sex marriage after this.
Oh no.
With all the problems people have to deal with these days, I never would have imagined sex would be the highest priority on that list. This is uncharted territory for me because other than gay rights, I don't think the government has passed legislation on fucking in my lifetime, and if they did, I certainly wasn't paying attention.
Because you're a dumbass.
Taking a glance at the bigger picture, banning abortion feels like the first step in physically segregating America. The people that rule the world are using sex to force Americans to choose sides, which means a lot of people will have to relocate to states that support their way of life.
That's fucked up.
The United States are a conservative country at its core, and banning abortion tells me that they're tired of liberals constantly shouting at them all the time. The yelling's only going to get worse because neither side wants compromise, they just want to be right. To me, this is the start of widening the huge gap of division in this country that will lead to a second American Civil War that our children and their children are going to have to fight because our generation refuses to solve problems together.
And that's all I have to say about that.
If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, please subscribe, and tell me what you think in the comment section below.
Peace. I'm Audi 5000.
Those who wish to follow me, I welcome with my hand. Thank you for being a friend.
And those are my thoughts for this video. But then again, what do I know? I'm just an old crippled bastard. Ooh, 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 ooh. I ain't too proud to beg for your money, so like, share, and subscribe.